Okay, good morning, everybody. I have a short statement. As you are aware, last week John Falchicchio resigned from D.C. government, and I know you have many questions, and that's understandable. But please understand that this is a sensitive matter with privacy concerns, and we will not be able to discuss it further. However, I am able to say that the circumstances of his departure led me to initiate an investigation. The legal counsel's office is leading that investigation following established policies and procedures. I've made it clear that my expectation is that all staff will cooperate fully with this investigation. I can also tell you that this investigation does not involve any allegations of improprieties related to business transactions. There's no reason for our important work on behalf of the residents of the District of Columbia to slow down because of John's departure. I have every confidence in my new Chief of Staff, Lindsay Parker, and our new interim Deputy Mayor for Planning and Economic Development, Keith Anderson. And I have immense confidence in the 37,000 employees of D.C. government who will keep us moving forward. Vanessa Natali is with me from the MOLC, and she will be handling questions from members of the press related to the investigation. Vanessa?
Thank you, Mayor. My name is Vanessa Natali. I'm the Deputy Director of the Office of Legal Counsel, the MOLC. Under the directorship of Eugene A. Adams, we are managing this investigation.
Mayor Bowser, can you tell us when and how did you first become aware that there were problems, allegations, or concerns that led you to request this investigation?
Mark, I can say that late last week we initiated an investigation.
But when did you become aware that there were allegations of some type of wrongdoing that led you to make
the day before?
So midweek last week.
That's about right, yes.
And how did you become aware?
I was notified by my lawyer.
Mayor Bowser, could any of the allegations be criminal in nature?
I can't. I'm going to refer any questions that I think are related to the investigation to Vanessa.
Mayor, can I ask you a question? We are in the midst of the Cherry Blossom Festival, how big deal for tourism. One of the comments I'm hearing is some misbehavior occurred on this bus city initiative to travel the Northeast to support the Cherry Blossom Festival. Is anything you're investigating have to do with that Cherry Blossom bus?
It does not.
Okay, good.
Mayor Bowser, what are the emotions like for you to have to part with somebody who has been with you since you took office as mayor and by all accounts has been your right-hand person?
That's not what we're talking about today, or what's important to the people of the District of Columbia. What people want to know is that we're moving forward on the very important work that's ahead. And the comeback of our downtown is among our most important work. And I have just so much pride and confidence with my team at DMPED, and I want their focus to be on their work.
Question for the attorney. I apologize that I've already forgotten.
Vanessa.
Thank you. Sorry. Can you tell us the scope of your investigation? Will you be subpoenaing witnesses? Is Mr. Falchicchio cooperating with your investigation? And just the logistics of how your office works. If you found criminal activity, would you refer that to what would you do? Do you refer that to the U.S. Attorney's Office, or how does this play out? And can you give us a timeline? And will you make your report public? Did I unload enough?
That's a lot of questions, but I will answer them. First, the scope of the investigation is based upon the sensitive matter. I will tell you it's not jargon, but there are privacy concerns. As any investigation that our office undertakes, we follow our standard policies and procedures, which include confidentiality and the integrity of the witnesses and anyone who can come forward and speak.
So will your findings be made public?
No, it will not. This is a sensitive matter with privacy concerns, and therefore it will not be made public.
What if you found criminal behavior?
As with any investigation, criminal behavior would be referred to our Office of the Inspector General, MPD, USAO, whoever would be, involved in that. But yes.
Are any other DC employees resigned, out of work, on leave as a result of this investigation, or is it just Falchecchio?
I can't answer that. I don't know that answer.
Mayor, can you answer that? Mayor, can you answer that?
What was your question?
Are there any other employees, any other members of your administration, anybody else who is not at work?
No.
On leave? Is it just Falchecchio?
I said no.
Are any other off topic? Because I know you guys have more off topic.
Yeah, Susanna over here. Really quick, Mayor, one thing that John Falchecchio did, which was kind of distinct, he was not only deputy mayor, he was also chief of staff, and he was chief of staff for longer than he was deputy mayor. Was this dual role? Was there any sense that there was any that could have created a scenario where problems weren't being reported properly or being investigated as they came up?
No.
I want to ask Ms. Vanessa, please, how far back is this investigation going to? And then I do have a question for the mayor on another issue.
Well, the impetus was based upon the mayor's initiation of the investigation, calling our director, Eugene Adams, and asking him to start it. With any investigation, it could go many ways. It just depends upon what our investigator finds. So it could go back, it may not go back, it could go sideways. We don't know, but we follow all the directions it will lead.
Mayor, I want to ask you about the fatal police-involved shooting this weekend involving U.S. Park Police. D.C. Police called Park Police for assistance in this. You have a situation where there's a police officer in the back seat of a vehicle with a person sleeping in the front and a police officer going from the side. Do you feel that this was appropriate here, that a person in a vehicle, in a suspect vehicle, will be addressed this way while they're sleeping?
I don't know all the details of what led to the police interaction, but I do know that MPD, as you know, the public should know, is responsible for investigating police-involved shootings, even from other departments. So they have initiated that investigation.
So it was said that there is body cam video for U.S. Park Police. We understand that D.C. Police have a specific policy, but you as the mayor can request that that body camera video be released. Are you planning to do so in the era of transparency?
I don't have the body camera, so I don't want to address that right now. I don't have it, and we don't. It's not in our system.
D.C. Police body camera for the officers that were there.
Again, I'll have to review. I will have to review the matter more closely. I will tell you that our normal process for if it were an MPD camera, is a review and consultation with our public safety partners, and then a decision about how it's released.
You have the authority to do so as mayor, correct?
I don't have the footage. Hear me well. This is not an MPD. We probably have some MPD footage from responding officers, so I can review that, but I don't have the other footage.
Can I also ask your response to, and I understand you have a lot to do as the mayor of a major city, but there's been multiple times when I've been here to ask you about an incident that's happened days after, and the response is that you don't know enough about the incident.
And that may be. I may not know enough tomorrow or the next day either, so I'm not going to hazard a guess to satisfy you. I am only going to speak, especially with something as serious as a 17-year-old involved in a police-involved shooting who's no longer with us. So I have to approach that with the seriousness that it requires.
Do you have any response to those residents who are upset that they're wanting information? I'm asking on behalf of residents of the District of Columbia who are upset that they want answers from their leader. And
I understand that in a lot of situations, people want me to say more than I can say. And sometimes that is how we get to the facts. And so what I know about the residents of the district is that they trust my judgment on these serious issues and know that I will explain it to them. I will follow the rules, and we will get to the bottom of what happened, whether it's our department or another one.
Mayor, look this way. Thank you.
Yes, I'm sorry.
So you were talking about Mr. Falcecchio. You said the business of government. What did you mean there when you in your statement? That it didn't
I think it's pretty clear, Sam. It's what we're focused on, and what I've said, and I'll repeat it, that this investigation does not involve any allegations of improprieties related to business transactions.
Does that mean what? Pay to play and that sort of thing? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know. What I mean is we, in our planning and economic development department, as in all of our other departments, we're doing a lot of transactions. We're working on building affordable housing. We're making sure that our public space is being used. We're having a lot of, we enter into contracts. And what I want to be perfectly clear about is that that is not the scope of this investigation.
So it does not involve financial issues you're suggesting? It's a personal thing? Is that what you're saying?
I answered you, Sam. This is, yes.
Mayor?
Yes.
Mayor, can you talk about the appointments of Mr. Anderson and Ms. Parker? Are they both going to be continuing in their previous roles as well as their new roles?
I expect to make announcements about their previous roles by Wednesday.
Thank you. Did John Falcecchio turn in his resignation on Thursday or Friday? And
on Friday.
And was it after this investigation was initiated?
Yes.
On a different topic,
yes.
Can you tell me, I know we have Dr. Rodriguez here, about any concerns or preparations in the event of possible protests surrounding the arrest of former President Trump?
Thank you, Mark. We have been with our D.C. Homeland Security, and I'll ask Chris to come up in a second, as well as with MPD, finding out as much as we can find out about what's out there in the intelligence world related to the former president's tweet about calling people to protest.
Thanks, Mayor, and thanks, Mark, for the question. Since we saw the former president's posts on Truth Social on Friday, and then again over the weekend, we've been communicating with our federal partners, our state partners across the country, to sort of compare what we're seeing in social media in terms of anyone who might be planning to come, certainly to the District of Columbia, to commit violence. Right now, we're not seeing really an organized effort to come here to the district. Again, we are going to keep in touch with our partners throughout the next several days. We briefed the mayor several times over the weekend, and we will continue to do that as new information comes in.
Staying at the command center for this?
No, not at this time.
Hi there. We're hearing that the commanders may be making a move in the next couple days, and we're hearing that they, as part of the deal, might be working with members of Congress to secure something about RFK. I'm wondering if you've heard anything about that, if you can give us any information.
I haven't. I would have to refer you back to them, to the commanders.
Last question.
Yep.
Mayor, you've had what you call a high standard for ethics in your administration, and certainly in terms of sexual harassment or misbehavior. Can you at least characterize what many people are saying privately, but no one will say publicly, that the allegations with Mr. Falcecchio involve sexual misconduct?
I can't, but I can, as your questions come up related to the specifics of the investigation, I will be referring you to the MALC and Ms. Vitale. I think I've said like all I can say in my prepared remarks or questions related to my prepared remarks, but given the sensitivity of the matter and our need for privacy, that's all we can say. But thank you.
report will not be made public regardless of the findings. What if they clear Mr. Falcecchio of any wrongdoing? I mean, don't you think the public has some right to closure on this at some point when an investigation is completed to know exactly what did or didn't happen?
There is a need for confidentiality and privacy that I believe that we have to stay focused on, Mark. So indeed, we can get to the bottom of it. Typically, when I have a report, there are some summary recommendations that I can discuss publicly, and that may be the case here. Thank you, everybody.